My girlfriend said, "From now on, I'll decide when we meet." I replied, "Take your lies and go." Then I stayed silent for 2 weeks, opened the door to see her with a pharmacy bag, sent her away when I learned the baby was not mine, and I just watched as the truth blew up all her plans. Welcome to AF Tales. Today's story is about a man whose girlfriend says, "From now on, I'll decide when we meet. Stop pressuring me," and then shows up 2 weeks later holding a secret that changes everything. As you listen, think about when you would have decided to walk away. My girlfriend said, "From now on, I'll decide when we meet. Stop pressuring me." I did not say a word, I just nodded quietly. 2 weeks passed, no messages, no calls, no plans, just silence. Then one evening there was a soft knock on my door. When I opened it, she was standing there, eyes shining with tears, holding something in her hands that made my heart stop. I am 27, and up until 3 months ago I thought I had my life figured out. I had been with Lauren for 2 years. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue, hit it off right away, and within 6 months we were practically living together. She was a graphic designer. I worked in commercial real estate. Boring job, decent money, stable life. We had our routines. Sunday brunch, Wednesday movie nights, weekend trips to her parents' lake house. It felt right. It felt safe. Then around February things started to shift. She began working late more often. She stopped texting back as quickly. Whenever I asked to see her, she would say she was exhausted or had plans with coworkers. I will admit I got clingy. I sent too many texts asking when we could hang out, suggesting dates, trying to lock things in. Looking back, I can see I was reacting to fear. I felt her pulling away and I did not know what else to do. A lot of people get stuck in that pattern. The more one person pulls back, the more the other chases. One night in early March, we were at her apartment. I had brought Thai food, her favorite, and I suggested we watch something together. She barely looked up from her laptop. "Can we talk?" she asked, closing the screen. "Sure. What's up?" She took a breath. "You've been a lot lately." The constant texting, asking where I am, wanting to meet every other day, it's suffocating. My stomach dropped. "I just miss you. We barely see each other anymore." "That's because I need space," she said firmly. "So here's what's going to happen. From now on, I'll decide when we meet. Stop pressuring me. I'll reach out when I'm ready." I wanted to argue. I wanted to say that relationships are supposed to be mutual. That this felt like being put in a corner, but I did not want to lose her, so I swallowed it. "Okay," I said quietly. "I'll wait." She softened a little, reached across, and squeezed my hand. "Thank you. I just need some breathing room." That was March 8th. I remember because it was my sister's birthday, and I had left early from her party to see Lauren. It is funny how we remember those details when things fall apart. The first few days were not terrible. I kept myself busy, went to the gym, caught up with friends I had been ignoring, threw myself into a big property deal at work. But by day 5, the silence felt heavy. No good morning texts, no random memes, nothing. I checked her social media. I know it was not healthy, but I did it anyway. She was still posting. Photos of coffee cups, her workspace, a sunset from somewhere downtown. She seemed fine, just fine without me. By day 10, I was barely sleeping. I drafted maybe 50 texts and deleted every single one. My friend Kevin told me to move on, that she was clearly done but too scared to say it. I could not accept that, not yet. Day 14. 2 full weeks. I had just gotten home from work, loosened my tie, poured myself a whiskey I did not really want. It was around 7:30 p.m., already dark outside. Then I heard a soft knock at my door. My heart jumped. I was not expecting anyone. I opened it and there she was, Lauren, standing in my hallway with red, glossy eyes like she had been crying. She wore jeans and an oversized sweater, her hair pulled back messily. In her hands was a white plastic bag from a pharmacy. "Can I come in?" she whispered. I stepped aside. She walked past me, set the bag on my kitchen counter, and just stood there with her arms wrapped around herself. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She turned toward me and I saw new tears pooling in her eyes. "I'm pregnant." The room tilted. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. "What? I'm pregnant," she repeated, voice cracking. "I took 3 tests, they're all positive." I should have felt something clear, joy, fear, something. Instead, I felt confusion. We had been careful, she was on the pill. and we had not slept together in over a month. "Lauren," I said slowly, we haven't been together in weeks." She looked down. "I know." The silence stretched between us like a cliff edge. Then I started, but I could not finish. She sobbed, covering her face with her hands. "His name is Troy. He's a photographer I work with. It started in January. Just once, I swear. Just one stupid mistake after we had drinks following a client meeting. I thought it was nothing, that I could bury it and move on. But then I missed my period and I held up a hand. Stop, just stop." My mind raced. January. She had been cheating since January, all those late nights, all the distance. It had not been about needing space, it had been about covering an affair. "So the whole I need space thing," I said, my voice strangely calm, "that was just you keeping me at arm's length while you figured out what to do, no?" "I mean, yes, kind of, but I was confused. I didn't know how to get out." I walked to the door and opened it. "Get out," I said. She looked up, shocked. "What get out? Take your tests, take your confession, get out of my apartment. Please, just listen." "There's nothing to listen to," I said, still holding the door. "You cheated. You lied. You made me feel like I was the problem for wanting to see my own girlfriend. And now you're pregnant with someone else's kid. We're done." She stood there for a moment, tears streaming, then grabbed the pharmacy bag and walked past me. She paused in the doorway. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I closed the door. That night I did not sleep. I sat on my couch, staring at the wall, replaying every moment of the past 2 months, every excuse, every "I'm tired." Every time she made me feel clingy or unreasonable for wanting time together. This is what emotional gaslighting can look like. You start to doubt your own basic needs. The next morning, I called in sick to work. Then I did something I am not proud of. I went through every digital trace I could find. Old texts, social media, emails. That is when I found Troy's profile. Photographer, mid-30s, pretentious bio about capturing raw human emotion. He had posted a picture 2 weeks ago from an art gallery opening. Lauren was in the background, laughing with a drink in her hand. The caption read, "Inspiring evening with inspiring people." I felt sick, but then I noticed something in the comments. A woman named Rachel had written, "Didn't know you were back on the scene. Thought you and Melissa were still figuring things out." I clicked his profile again and scrolled back. There she was, Melissa, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, hard to tell. Photos of them together up through December. No obvious breakup. No "we're going separate ways" posts, just silence. I took screenshots of everything. 3 days later, Lauren texted me. She wanted to meet and talk about next steps. I agreed to meet at a coffee shop near my office. She looked exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back like she had not been sleeping. Part of me felt a little sorry for her. The other part remembered why we were there. "I'm keeping it," she said right away before I even sat down. "I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's not my decision to make," I said. "It's not my kid," she flinched. "I know, but I thought you should know. Troy, he doesn't want to be involved. When I told him, he accused me of trying to trap him. Said he'd need a paternity test before he'd even consider anything." "Smart guy," I muttered. "I deserve that," she said quietly. "Look, I know I destroyed everything between us. I'm not asking you to forgive me or take me back. I needed you to know the truth, all of it." "Have you told Melissa?" I asked. Her face went pale. "Who, Troy's girlfriend or ex? Hard to tell from his Instagram." I didn't know he had a girlfriend," she said. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. Photos of Troy and Melissa from January back through the year, couples posts, trips, nights out. "So either he was cheating on her with you," I said, "or they were on some break and he failed to mention it." Lauren looked like she might throw up. "Oh my God." "Yeah," I said, standing up. "Seems like we were both being played." I picked up my coffee. "Good luck with everything, Lauren, I mean that." I walked out before she could respond. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to end the conversation before you get pulled back into guilt. 2 weeks after that coffee shop meeting, I got a message request on Instagram from Melissa. She had seen a comment I left on one of Troy's old posts and somehow connected that I was linked to Lauren. Her message was direct. "Hi, I know this is weird, but I think we need to talk about Troy and your ex." We met for drinks that evening. Melissa was sharp and calm, but there was a hard edge under it. She told me Troy had been telling her they were working through things, that he just needed space, that he still loved her, all while sleeping with Lauren. When Lauren told him about the pregnancy, he panicked and called Melissa, confessing everything and begging for forgiveness. He claimed it was a one-time mistake, said Lauren came onto him and he was drunk. Classic, she said. He blames the alcohol and the other person. Lauren said the same thing, I replied. One time she was confused, drinks were involved. Melissa laughed without humor. They deserve each other, except now she's pregnant and he's freaking out that child support will ruin his art career. We talked for hours. We swapped stories, compared lies, and realized how much of our last few months had been shaped by manipulation. By the time we left, we were not friends, but we understood each other. It is strange how betrayal can connect strangers more honestly than some relationships ever do. What are you going to do? I asked as we walked out. She smiled, cold and steady. Troy's doing a big showcase next month. Gallery opening, potential investors, the whole thing. I'm going to make sure everyone there knows exactly what kind of person he is. I did not ask for details. I did not need to. 3 months passed from the night Lauren knocked on my door. I have not spoken to her since the coffee shop. Through mutual friends, I heard she moved back to her parents' place upstate. The baby is due in November. Troy took a paternity test. It confirmed the baby was his. He signed away his parental rights and paid her some money to avoid future claims. He wanted a clean exit. Melissa did exactly what she said she would. She went to Troy's gallery opening with printed receipts, screenshots, dates, and photos. She did not scream or cause a scene. She simply handed them out like flyers to everyone who walked in. Quiet truth can be more powerful than any shouting. His career did not completely collapse, but several potential investors backed out. Last I heard, he moved to Portland. As for me, I am okay. Better than okay. I started therapy. I realized how many red flags I had ignored because I was afraid of being alone. I kept telling myself that wanting more time with my girlfriend was needy, when in reality I just wanted basic closeness. Kevin set me up on a date last week with his cousin. We got coffee, talked for 3 hours, and afterwards she texted me first to say she wanted to see me again. It felt normal. It felt easy. The way it should feel when you do not have to beg for someone's time. I do not hate Lauren anymore. I do not really feel anything when I think about her. That, more than anything, tells me I have healed. She made her choices. I made mine. And now we are both living with the consequences. A lot of people ask if I ever got closure or a real apology. The answer is no. And honestly, I do not need one anymore. I learned that closure is something you give yourself, not something you wait for from the person who hurt you. Others ask if I would ever take her back if she reached out. The answer is a hard no. The trust is gone. You cannot rebuild a foundation that was never solid to begin with. Now, here are some lessons we can take from this story. Lesson 1: when someone turns "I need space" into "I alone decide" when we see each other, that is not a healthy boundary. That is control. Lesson 2: if your partner makes you feel crazy or needy for wanting normal closeness, pause and ask whether the issue is really your needs or their honesty. Lesson 3: cheating followed by blame and secrecy is not a mistake. It is a pattern of choices. You are allowed to walk away without waiting for a perfect apology. Lesson 4: being alone is easier than living with someone who lies and makes you doubt your worth. Loneliness is temporary. Self-respect lasts. Lesson 5: you do not have to hate someone to move on. Sometimes, the healthiest place is neutrality, where you wish them well and keep your distance. What would you have done in his place? Would you have opened the door again after the coffee shop, or closed that chapter for good? Share your thoughts, and think about where your own line would be if you were the one told to stop pressuring just for wanting time with your partner.